Today's video is all about controlling your stream with Twitch channel points using a program called Sammi. Before we get into the video, if you like what you see or you like my face, why don't you consider liking and subscribing? Maybe tell your parents, use me as a topic of conversation on your next speed dating event. I don't know. With all of this, let's jump right on into the video and I will show you how to set up Sammi and control your stream using Sammi and Twitch channel points. So the first thing you need to do before anything else is you need to go and download the Sammi program itself. You can see the page here. What I will do is I will put it in the description below. One thing you do need to note is that you need to make sure wherever you download the folder to, that it is somewhere permanent, as this is not like a normal Windows install file. This folder will always be referenced, so you need to make sure that you put the folder somewhere and you can keep it there without accidentally moving it or deleting it. Once you have downloaded the Sammi program and you have unzipped the zip file, this is what you will see inside. To open up the program, you can go to the Sammi core.exe file and double click on that. That will take you to the Sammi program itself. If you want, you can create a shortcut of this and put it on your taskbar. This is the one that you will need to open whenever you want to use Sammi. Before you start to do anything with your channel points, you need to first connect Sammi to your OBS and then to your Twitch account. We will first go and connect Sammi to our OBS. There is one thing to note, which is that if you are on OBS 28, you do not need to do anything extra. However, if you are on a previous version of OBS or you are using certain plugins which are not fully supported by OBS 28 or later's WebSocket version, you may need to download some extra plugins. At the bottom of the download page for Sammi, they do go into that in further detail. However, that's for what you need to know for now. If you are on OBS 28, you don't need to do anything extra. If you are on a previous version of OBS, you may need to do something extra. So to start off with, let's go to the OBS side of things. From here, you will need to go and first check what your WebSocket settings are. I'm currently still on OBS 27 as of this video. However, this process is the same for OBS 27 and OBS 28, so you won't need to change anything. What you can do is from here, go to the tools dropdown at the top of OBS, go down to the WebSocket server settings, and then from here, you will see a couple of different options. Obviously, you need to have the enable WebSockets server button ticked, and then you will see here your WebSocket server port as well as a password if you want to have one. You don't need to have one, but if you choose to have one, you can enable that here. Make sure that you know what the port is, as you will need this later. And of course, if you have a password, make sure you know what that is. Once you are back in Sammi, go to the bottom of the Sammi page here where it says OBS connections. Click on this and you will see a new window pop up. From here, you just need to know a couple of different things. Number one, if you are on OBS 28, you probably want to make sure that this is OBS WS5. However, you can also set it to the previous version if you are on an older version of OBS. You can also set it to auto detect and let it decide what it wants to do. Depending on which version of WebSocket that you have, you might need to change this port, but you can also just change it to match whatever it was in OBS. The IP address should stay the same, as this is going to be your local computer's IP address, and then if you have a password, make sure that this is correct as well. To make things easier, you can check this auto connect box so that Sammi will automatically connect to OBS and you don't need to press this every time. And once you are sure that everything is correct, you can go and click on this button and you should see a window pop up at the bottom of your page. Once that has done and there is no issues, you can go and click save and close. You will know also if it is successful because you will see on the left pane a green light beside main OBS. Once you see that, you know that Sammi is successfully connected to OBS. The next thing that you need to do is add the Sammi bridge to your OBS dock. What the Sammi bridge is it's a connection between Sammi and OBS that takes in messages from any Sammi extensions, as well as allowing you to test certain events in OBS itself. To go and add the Sammi bridge as an item to your OBS dock, what you can do is go to the sidebar here, click on it, click copy full path, and that will go and copy the file location of the bridge to your clipboard. After you've done that, you can come back to your OBS page, and from here go to the top of your OBS page, go to the docs drop down, click custom browser docs. From here you can add a name for the new doc item. I'm going to give it the name Sammi, and then you can just paste in the URL that you copied from the Sammi bridge. Once you've done that and you've pasted in the file path that you copied, you can click on the apply button and you will see the Sammi bridge appear as a new window in your OBS screen. To add this, what you can do is you can go and drag it into your dock. To drag it into your dock, just drop it down here like this, and now it is embedded in your OBS dock and acts as a go-to between your Sammi and OBS programs. There is one last step that you need to do to make sure that everything is fully connected, and that is to connect your bridge, your Sammi bridge, to Sammi itself. To do this, go to wherever your Sammi bridge is in OBS, click on the status tab and scroll down here to see these three items: the IP address, the port, and the password, which is optional. The IP address should be the default one here, which is your local computer IP address. The port can be whatever you want it to be, and the password if you want that to be as well. Make sure you note down what these are and then go back to your Sammi page. Inside your Sammi page, go down to the bottom left settings button, click on it, and here you will see the port and the IP address of the bridge. What you can do is, by default, this will be set to 9424, and if there's a password you can type it in here. Once you are sure that those are correct, you can click on the save and close button and everything should be okay from there. You will also see another green light at the bottom here with the bridge, and you know that they are successfully connected between OBS and Sammi. The last thing that you want to do before doing anything else is you want to go and connect Sammi to your Twitch account. To do that, go to the Twitch connections button at the bottom of the page, click on it, and you will see a new window appear. As of the latest version of Sammi, they've now given you the functionality of being able to connect two separate accounts to your Twitch, number one being your main streamer account and number two being your bot account. If you want to go and have your bot output all of the commands or anything that goes into chat, you can do it through your optional bot account. However, you can also just connect it to your main streamer account and have everything go through that account as well. For a walkthrough on how to go and set up a bot account with Twitch, that might be a whole other video because it is quite a long process. But for now, what we will do is we will just go and connect it to our main streamer account. To do that, what you want to do is go and click on the link streamer account. When you do that, you will see this window pop up with a warning. Go and read the warning because it is important, and then click on yes, of course, because we all read the warning very carefully, I am sure, maybe. After you click on the yes button, you will see a new window pop up in your browser with an option to authorize your current streaming account that is logged into your browser with Sammi. You can click on the authorize button, and when you do so and go back to Sammi, you should see the option appear that it is successfully connected to your Sammi account. So once you've done that, you can see that I have successfully connected my account to Twitch. The only other thing that you need to do is click on the connect to Twitch account. Optionally, you can go and decide which of these events that you want Sammi to be allowed to listen to. I just leave it as being everything because I think it makes it easier, but it is up to you if you want to change that. Once you are sure that you are happy with all of the settings, you can go and click on the connect to Twitch account. Once you've done that, you can click on the done button, and now you can go and work on making your events that will happen when people use channel points on your Twitch. So the basic layout of Sammi is that you have your commands and your events separated into different decks. You can imagine a deck as just a contained folder for all of your set of actions. It is easier to keep them to a smaller amount and instead have more decks if you want to use the optional Sammi app on your phone, or you want to use the local Sammi app on your desktop as well. You can have as many different ones as you want, and you can scroll between them if you want, but it makes it easier instead of having a big screen with lots of very small buttons. In my opinion, it makes it easier to have a certain set of buttons, maybe no more than 16, and then just have different decks for each type of button or event that you want to have. To make your first deck, what you want to go and do is click on the plus button, click add new deck, and then you will see this here. To go and edit the deck and as well as add any actions, you can go and double click, and then you will see this window here. Up on the top left, you can go and change the name itself. You can choose how many buttons you want on the page, and you can also give it an optional background image. Within each of your decks, you will have your buttons. Each button you can think of as a set of self-contained actions with an optional trigger that you can have activate based on certain events that you decide. To go and create your first button, go to the grid here and double click on one of the open spaces. This will create your button, and then you can go and add whatever you want to it. You can think of a button as having three different things: the appearance and all of the things like colors and images that you would associate with that button, the actions that that button will carry out, and then your trigger, which will activate the button independently of you. To go and set the appearance of the button, you can right click on the button and go to edit appearance. From here, you can add in any text that you want. You can also change the color of the button. You can add an image to the button. You can do whatever you want for it. For this button, what we're going to do is that we're going to have it so that the Twitch channel points will activate an image through our OBS that will appear on stream. So we will have the name here as image, just to make it easier to remember. To go and add the commands to it, which is showing the image through OBS, you can then right click on this button, go to edit commands, and then from here you will see a new window. This window here is where all of the actions are going to be carried out. So you can click here to get your drop down with all of the possible actions that you have. Since for this button we are going to be activating images through OBS, what we want to do is go to the OBS list of commands here. From here, we're going to set it for source change visibility. When you are sure which command you want to use, you can click on it, and then here you will see this update with a new list of parameters that you can toggle to match whatever you want to match. So from here, the scene that we are going to have it for is our just chatting scene, and then in the just chatting scene, what we're going to do is we're going to have it for the Koati emote, that this is going to be triggered by this button. The last thing is you can see this visible toggle box here. You want to click this so that when this button is activated, this will make the Koati emote visible. Now, the one issue with this is that at the moment, this is going to make it visible, and then if we want to reset it, we have to go to OBS and we have to turn off the image again. So what we ideally could do here is have it turn on, wait for a short amount of time, and then turn off again. That way it will reset, and then the next time that someone activates it, it will do the same thing again, and it will have it reset for any subsequent activations. To do this, we can go and copy this here by pressing the copy button over here, and then go down beneath here to the paste button and click this. Now we have a duplicate of the first command here, but we can instead toggle the visible box to be off, so that what will happen is this will become visible, and then subsequently it will become invisible again. Now the issue with this is that because there is no time delay, this will immediately activate and become visible, and then immediately deactivate and become invisible. So what we can do is between these, we can go and add a period of time where Sammi will wait before it does any further actions. To do this, you can search for time out, and then down here you can see the wait for time out option. You can see this wait for timeout command or option will have a timeout after a certain amount of time, which means after this amount of time, it will proceed on to the next action. And this is in milliseconds. So 1000 milliseconds will be 1 second. Ideally, we would make it a bit longer so we could add another 0 and make it for 10,000 milliseconds, which will be 10 seconds. Now, as we have it, it will become visible, it will immediately become invisible, and then it will wait for 10 seconds. So we want to put this timeout command in between the other two, and we can do that by clicking on this, and then we have it set in between these two. So now what will happen is this will become visible, it will wait for 10 seconds, and then it will become invisible again. Once you have done all that, you can go and click the button which is behind my face. Let me move myself over so you can see it. So what you can do is once you have completed all of the adding of commands that you want, you can go down here, and if you want to test this button, you can click on the run button. Otherwise, you can click on the save and close button, and then it will take you back to the main screen. Let's click on this and test and see if it works. Now that we know that that works, we can go and click on the save and close button, and this button will now work whenever we activate it. However, the last thing that we want to do is allow people to be able to activate it through the Twitch channel points. So to do that, we're going to go and we're going to set a trigger. You can click on the edit triggers button, and then here you will have a new window pop up, and you can click on the plus button to allow you to add another trigger to it. You have a number of different triggers that you can use, such as if someone types something in your chat, or maybe if there's an event such as a subscription or a raid. But for this one, we are going to use the Twitch channel points. And then if you know exactly what the channel points redeem is going to be, including the capitalization, you can go and just type it in here. Otherwise, you can click on the load from Twitch API, and then in the drop down, you will see a list of the commands. For this one, I know what it's going to be, so I'm just going to go and add it here, Coati dance. And then from here, you can just click on the save button, and then whenever that redeem is activated on Twitch, it will show the Coati dance emote for 10 seconds, and then it will hide the source again, and it can be activated subsequently by someone else. The last thing to think about, if you want to, is adding a queue for these buttons. Sometimes you can have certain buttons that if they are pressed repeatedly, they can disrupt whatever it is that you are doing, whether it be a certain source. If you have something like a sound effect and it is triggered repeatedly before the sound effect completes, this can result in it being spammed, and it can kind of ruin the experience. So to sort this, what you can do is go to the edit settings, and from here you can click the allow queue button. This way it will allow the button to complete its actions before it is activated from the subsequent redeems again. If multiple people do press the button, it will add them all to the queue, and it will do them one after another as long as the button's actions have all been completed. And there you have it. That is how you use Sammi to activate an image on your OBS using a Twitch channel redeem. I'm going to show you two more effects. One is going to be how to do a sound effect, and one is going to be how to activate a filter on your camera, just so that you know how to do the different types of things using Sammi. So for the audio sound effect, there is something that you have to consider when you are using Sammi. The engine that Sammi is built upon can only allow using OGG files if you are going to run them through Sammi itself. So if you want to use a sound effect through Sammi directly, you need to convert the sound effect to a .ogg file. Otherwise, what you can do as a workaround is very similar to what we did with the image. You can do the same thing where you have the sound effect in OBS already, and then it will just play whenever the redeem is activated through Twitch. So the first thing that we will do is we will go here and we will add a new button. From here, just to make things a bit easier, we're going to type in sound effect so that we know what this is doing. And then we will click into the button. And from here, we will add all of the subsequent actions. So from here, what you can do is same as before, click on the plus button, and then you will see the list of drop downs here. The first thing that we will do is we will have it for the sound to run natively through Sammi. To do that, go to the utilities and go to play sound effect. In the subsequent command that appears, you can see you have the sound file path, you have the volume level, and you have the sound ID. Fill out the file path. You can use this folder button here to go and find it through the Windows Explorer. Set whatever level you want for the volume, and then use a sound ID, because this will be important if you want to use it for other sound effect commands through Sammi. So this is how you would do it the first way, using Sammi natively. For the second method of activating the sound, which is activating it through OBS, you can do something very similar to what we did for the first one with the image. You go to OBS commands, and then instead of changing the source visibility, scroll down here and go to the media restart. You can also use the resume pause button, but in my experience, if you have multiple people using this at the same time, or if anything happens, sometimes it can cause the source to kind of hang. So I prefer to use the media restart. And then from here, click on the drop down that appears over here, and either you can go into whichever scene you want and you can go and activate it from there. Otherwise, you can go and search from the bar, and you can see that we have the button here. And then this way it will go here and it will activate. These are the two options that you have for activating the sound effects. And this is how you do it through OBS, and above is how you would do it through Sammi. For the last button, which is activating a camera filter, first of all, let's go here, let's make a new button, and we will go and give it the name camera filter. Click on the save button, and then from here, double click into it, and you will see this window again. From this window, click on the plus button, go to OBS commands, and then from here, scroll down and go to the filter change visibility. This works very similar to how the image one works as well. You can see you have your source name, you have your filter name, and you have the visible or invisible button. And you can do this setup very similar to how you would do the image. For the filter change action, I personally like to go and nest my camera scene, because this way, if I want to do something like this, or I want to have a filter active, I can use the nested camera scene. And then this way, regardless of if I am in a just chatting scene, or I am in a gaming scene, or I am in something else, this filter will activate, instead of having it where it will only activate on your specific camera source in that scene. So from here, let's go to the source name, and we will go to the camera scene, which is going to be nested in all of the other scenes, and click on this. And from here, we can click on the camera scene. So the overall scene will have the filter applied to it. And then from here, you have your pixelation source filter. And from here, you can see that now they are both activated, and we can do the same setup as with the first image, where we click on the visible here. We can go click the copy paste button over here, click the paste down here, and then have it set to be invisible. Last thing we can do is we can go and search for the timeout command, add a 10-second timeout, and then move it up here in between the activation and deactivation. Again, if you want to test this before you save it, you can go down here and click on the run button, and then we can go and see how that activates. I can even activate it from here, since my camera scene is nested into this. And now you can see I have been pixelated, and I am no longer safe for work. Although you probably shouldn't be watching me at work anyway, so this is very convenient. And there you go. That is how you would activate your filter on any one of your camera scenes. Again, I personally feel that it's much easier and saves you a lot of time, saves you a lot of effort if you just have a nested camera scene and then you have that put in each of your other scenes. This way, something like this will activate no matter which, if you are in a gaming scene, a just chatting scene, or something else entirely. Click on the save and close button, and then of course with the sound effect and with the filter, again you can do the same with the image. Click on the edit triggers, go to here, click on the plus button, go down to the channel points, and then if you already know what the redeem is going to be with the included capitalization, this is very important, you can go to pixelate me. Remember that the capitalization needs to be correct, otherwise Sammi won't pick it up. And then you can click on the save button, click on save up here, and then these 3 commands will activate whenever someone clicks on any one of the redemptions that you have in your Twitch channel points. And there we go. That is how you would use Sammi to control sources within your OBS through Twitch channel redeems. If you have any further questions, or you have anything else that you would like to know about this process, please let me know in the comments down below. If you liked what you saw, again, why not like and subscribe to see more of it and more of my face, and goodbye. Don't know why I said that, that was kind of weird. Just gonna stop recording now. So thank you, I guess.